Welcome to the Kurt Saxon Show, your countdown to the future. First, I want you to take down my phone number in case you want to call. The number is 501-437-2963. In case you didn't get it, here it is again, 501-437-2963. Sorry, but we can't accept collect calls. Tonight's topic is post-survival constitutions, and it's from Survivor Volume 3. Many readers have written suggesting that I lay out a groundwork for a future constitution. The idea that I am competent to write such a document may seem presumptuous, but I am competent to set down a system of fundamental laws and principles of a government. So are you. Of course, any old lady can write a good working constitution for her garden club and set up officers who will keep the club solvent and growing and fund for its members. That's all it really amounts to. Even so, a constitution which depends on future generations for its acceptance must be more involved than club and organization constitutions, since it will affect people who will reject it no matter how good it is. Well, you can't please everybody, and constitutions are written not to please everybody, but mainly to please those leaders who wrote it and for whose interests it was written. Regardless of the inspiring garbage written about the Magna Carta and the U.S. Constitution, both documents were exclusive and ignored the interests of the general populations. Once in a Sydney bar, I was fascinated as a drunken Australian scholar held forth on the Magna Carta. He said it was the greatest document of liberty ever written and had made him a free man. Indirectly, he was right, but only indirectly, as the Magna Carta was not written for the common people. Many amendments had to be written after his ancestor had been transported to Australia in chains. While the Magna Carta was England's charter, my main ancestor on my mother's side was sold out of Newgate Prison to a colony-bound ship captain to be resold for a period of 7 years' servitude to an affluent colonist. After the American Rebellion, our forefathers decided that they didn't want the British to dump their vermin and misfits here, so the ancestor of my Australian friend was dumped at Botany Bay instead. So the Magna Carta was not even a guarantee that a citizen could remain on his native soil. The Magna Carta was written not for the English people, but for the nobility. King John believed he owned England and all its people. The nobles believed they should share this ownership, partly because they wanted more power and partly because they didn't want to be owned themselves. The main thrust of the Magna Carta was against the divine right of kings, but it originally had few restrictions against the power of the king and his nobles over the common people. It didn't remove the collar from one serf, nor did it restrict the slave trade, whereby the British forcibly recruited brute labor from Africa, nor did it restrict press gangs, whereby the British Navy forced its citizens and finally even American seamen into its service. The U.S. Constitution did not include non-whites. When it mentioned men, it did not include black men or Indian men, and it certainly didn't include women. Only generations later were all citizens covered. It gives me a laugh to hear black agitators and lesbian liberals screaming about their constitutional rights. Our prisons are filled with people our forefathers would have hanged after about 5 minutes of testimony. Our dwindling resources are being squandered keeping welfare vermin alive, few of whom would have survived because of anything written in the original U.S. Constitution. Then there is the billions in foreign aid given to governments our founders would not have helped to continue. Constitutions are usually written by idealists on behalf of those who will assume the power of the state. As such, they are generally beautifully written but are revised by the self-serving leaders to fit their own purposes. For instance, Tom Paine wrote the Declaration of Independence and drafted the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson, the supposed writer, deleted the anti-slavery clause. This was because he was keeping maybe 3 printers busy turning out reward posters for his own runaway slaves. So a constitution is simply a prettily written document which divides power between members of a new government. After it served its purpose for the founders, future leaders will redo it to ensure themselves the same place at the public trough the original gave to the founders. Our Constitution has been so perverted on behalf of liberal political trash and their degenerate electorate that it is now more a danger to decent people than a guarantee of their liberties. Most constitutions are more enlightened than those they replace. All too often, however, they prove inadequate after a few years and have to be amended and added to by future legislators. Regardless of the sincerity of the original authors, as time goes on, many other amendments are tacked on just to please special interest groups. Then other amendments are put in to glorify the memory of politicians who just want to be remembered. As the system evolves, so many amendments are tacked on and so many new laws are enacted that a constitution, along with all the city and state ordinances, becomes just a big pile of confusion on paper. In no time at all, a society's laws become so muddled that special people are appointed to interpret them. Any document or set of documents written in a nation's language which needs interpretation should be destroyed. Even so, the need for interpretation is unavoidable as the system degenerates. When a populace becomes so large in numbers, so diverse in common interests, so divided by differing minority demands that satisfying an individual or group detracts from the security of others, the need for interpretation becomes unavoidable. But regardless of the need to try to be fair to everyone, all such attempts simply worsen the situation. Over half of the adult American population is semi-literate. Millions of mental defectives require welfare, and millions more ought to be liquidated as dangerously antisocial criminals, most of whom are running free lest their constitutional rights be violated. The observance of their constitutional rights threatens the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of everyone around them, resulting in unresolvable conflicts. This alone is enough to invalidate the U.S. Constitution. As the world situation deteriorates, all constitutions will become worthless. Civil populaces will go berserk, followed by their respective governments. A few years from now, the world cities will be gutted piles of rubble through the civil strife and/or war. The rebuilding of civilization will be up to people like you. You will probably write a constitution yourself. And what kind of constitution will you write? Will it favor the laborer, the farmer, business, your own little power structure? You won't be alone regardless of whom you favor. Every writer of future constitutions will be tempted to look out for his own interests. But will your interests at the time of the writing be the same years later? Will it serve the interests of the next generation and the next? Probably not. The coming crash of world civilization was predicted in 1803 by Thomas Malthus. He proved that populations grow geometrically. That is, a population can double itself within a single generation, then double itself again in another. On the other hand, an acre of land will not double its produce every season. More water and fertilizer, insecticides, hybrids, intensive cultivation, etc. can double and even triple an acre's produce. But within a few planting seasons, the limit is reached, while the population keeps on doubling itself generation after generation. Rather than accept Malthus's findings, misguided idealists have gone further afield, utilizing marginal land, looting the oceans, and generally destroying the environment to accommodate more two-legged vermin. Do-gooders, mainly among the Western nations, even campaigned to outlaw the traditional destruction of the surplus and congenitally unfit. See Infanticide, page 583. At this time, no constitution can possibly accommodate all individuals and minorities. Industrial workers, managers, businessmen, racial minorities, mental defectives, criminals, religious and political groups, the elderly, all want their share of an increasingly diminishing pie. There's just not enough resources, both in goods and services, to go around. As constitutions are generally written, the same cycle repeats itself over and over again. Think back to Egypt, Babylon, Greece, Rome, and all the elaborately organized societies since, and you'll see that the special interest groups largely from among the degenerate subcultures of that society. So even if the society had utopian potentials, its less able members were allowed to multiply, eating up the surpluses, crowding the living space, and finally dooming the system. Throughout the ages, idealistic constitutions have doomed more societies than have wars. The only practical constitution must deal primarily with population control. Again, such a constitution could be just as negative and destructive as most others if the population controls were repressive against the able among the non-affluent or racial minorities. Such repression is a breeding ground for agitators, and no society can spare the manpower to implement such programs. To ensure the public well-being on a permanent basis, population control must be fair, even toward those least able to benefit society. Rather than allow the unfit to reproduce and then punish them and their degenerate offspring, sterilization would keep them from enlarging their social dependency and allow them a better lifestyle on what little income they can scrape up. Following are a few points I would put at the head of any constitution. 1. Only those married couples who are physically and mentally healthy and economically solvent will be allowed to bear children. 2. No more than 2 or 3 children will be allowed each eligible couple. 3. Following conception, a prospective mother must eat only fresh, unadulterated foods in as wide a variety as the general economy will allow. 4. Children must be with the mother constantly from birth until weaning, with no paid work outside the home or garden. 5. All children must be breastfed for at least 6 months. 6. No woman will be permitted medications prescribed or over-the-counter, stimulants, alcohol, tobacco, or any sort of narcotics after conception and before weaning. 7. Any parent who deliberately injures a child must be sterilized and the child or children must be put up for adoption. 8. All pregnancies by unwed mothers must be terminated. 9. Abortions must be given upon demand, regardless of the reason given. 10. No citizen congenitally unable or conscientiously unwilling to defend the system will be allowed to reproduce. For explanations of the need for the above proposed laws, see pages 64, 84, Volume 1, and page 583 of Volume 2 of the Survivor. If these 10 simple rules were made law, there would be few social dependents, fewer criminals or other antisocial types. Without these rules, no society can long avoid the upheavals we face. With them, there would never be a reason for the society to launch an aggressive war. There would be little poverty. Social strife would be largely confined to debates. Social progress would be built on the development of science and technology rather than at the expense of the environment or neighboring systems. No matter what kind of constitution you laid out, there would be no politicians as we know them. Without the mental defectives produced by other defectives born to even more defectives, the politicians would not have the degenerate electorate which has consistently voted away our potential for national survival. You may have the chance to break the cycle of growth, stagnation, and then decline, which has laid waste to our planet's highest civilizations. But without the resolve to ensure the rights of all your culture's children, your own rights will be eroded by irrational children in adult bodies. Aside from a set of population control laws such as listed above, you ought to forget constitutions at this time. Let the next generation write the Constitution. For once, let a Constitution be written not for a society already fixed in pettiness, avarice, and stupidity to cater to their irrational fantasies. Rather, let it be written by and for a sane, brave, intelligent, and industrious people, born well, reared well, and fully able to govern itself without any dictums handed down by blighted neurotics of the sort who write constitutions. Okay, here I am again. The phone number is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas 72611. And that is the address you send your $10 to get the introductory packet, including the U.S. Militia, the only magazine for community defense, Shoestring Entrepreneur, and David Koresh's Last Testament. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, Kurt. This is Lou at EIS.
Hi, Lou.
How you doing?
Doing fine.
Oh, that's good. Just like to give the address to the folks out there who'd like to order the shortwave radio.
Well, okay, but let's not make this a everyday type thing, Louis. I mean,
oh, okay.
Give me a break here. Okay, come on. EIS, you say?
EIS Company.
Yes.
P.O. Box 2415.
Yes.
Youngstown, Ohio.
Yes.
44509. And it's $49 plus $375 shipping and handling, and Ohio residents pay 6% sales tax.
Okay, give the address again.
Okay, EIS Company, P.O. Box 2415, Youngstown, Ohio, and the zip's 44509.
Have you sold any yet?
Oh yeah, we're not doing too bad, and you must have a pretty good audience there. They like your show because they say so in the letters that I receive.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah. So Okay.
Have you gotten any calls about? Have you gotten any calls about the machine, the bodybuilding machine?
Oh, about the exercise machine. Yeah, I got one call from a fella. We're still waiting to hear from our manufacturer in Cleveland. We did obtain a manufacturer a while ago, and we're working out some of the bugs, and we're going to see what what happens with that first before we go ahead on to try to set up a shop to make it.
Yeah, well, if you can bring it down to a price that the average person can pay, you'll sell all you can make.
Oh yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to keep the price down.
Yeah. But, okay then.
Okay. Take it easy.
Okay, bye for now. Okay, again, the phone number is 501. Whoops. Again, the phone number is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas 72611. Hello, Kurt here.
Hi, Kurt. How you doing? Question for you. I picked up a Remington Model 7400.
Yeah.
And it's a 30-06 caliber. And somebody had mentioned that they make an adapter that you can put in there to convert it so you can fire 308s in there instead.
I think so. Yes, that's right.
All right. I was talking to a guy in the gun store. He said that they don't work in the semi-automatics too good. They're only good for the bolt action. I wonder if anybody out there might be familiar with it.
I shouldn't think they would work in the semi-automatics. When you got a semi-automatic, you have that many more parts, and that's why I don't trust any rapid-fire gun.
Right,
they do jam.
You have an M1 Garand, right?
Yeah.
It's a semi-automatic.
It's a semi-automatic. It shoots 8 rounds, but it isn't for rapid fire.
Right. Well, that's what a Model 7400 is. It's semi-automatic.
Yes.
And it's basically the same system as the Garand. It's a gas operated.
Yes. Like all right. Well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. The guy at the gun store probably knows more about it than I do. I'm not really a gun expert anyway. Kerry knows more about guns than I do.
Right. That's what I wonder. He might know, because originally they designed it for the Garand, but the
do you know anything about that? Okay, Kerry will talk about it.
Well, as far as I know, first I've heard about it. I think all it does is shorten the chamber a little, so it'll fit.
Right. Because the thing I was wondering is, after you put it in there, do you have to re-headspace everything? Because if it's not exactly right, you won't be able to get your ammo inside there. And I was wondering. I know they made it, the advertisement says they originally made it for the M1 Garand, which is a semi-automatic gas-operated action on there. But I just don't know if it'll fit in the Remington 7400, how it works.
Well, a 30-06 chamber is a 30-06 chamber. They shouldn't cost more than a few dollars. I'd get one and take it to your gunsmith and have him put it in there and try it. If it jams, well, if it jams, it won't hurt it. You just got to take
I was wondering if you could get it out again, because to get in there on the Remington is a little bit different than the Garand. It's really hard to.
Well, you'll probably have to take the barrel out to remove it and put it back in.
Right, that's a big hassle on that gun compared to a Garand, I guess. But because 308 ammunition is so much cheaper than 30-06. I mean, it's like less than half the price.
Yeah, well, that's a consideration.
Yeah.
Of course, it's best if you learn to shoot. One shot, one kill, and then you don't need to worry about having so many follow-up shots.
Right, I guess, unless you got 10 people coming at you.
Well, that's hardly likely. Really, it is.
Really?
I don't. It's okay to fantasize hordes of bandits coming at you, but I think reality would dictate that you'd just be facing a couple of guys at a time.
Right. No, my main consideration is the cost of the ammo, because like 1,000 rounds of 30-06 is over $350, and for the 308 it's like $140 for 1,000 rounds.
Well, I might just have to change my calculations then.
Okay.
Because that is a big consideration.
That's an incredible difference on there. And I was trying to locate a 308 out there, but it seems like everybody, bought them up, and you can't even order one anymore. So.
Oh, Kerry just suggested that if you really think that you're going to be attacked by a whole bunch of guys, no, use your 12-gauge shotgun loaded with single-lot buck.
Right, that's expensive stuff too. I was looking around the price of that stuff, and it's like I think $3 or something for 5 rounds.
No. It's about in Arkansas it's $4 and something for 25 rounds.
Yeah, that's for regular birdshot.
Well,
as soon as you go to single-lot buck or double-lot buck, if you check, it's about it's about $3, $3.50.
Well, you buy it by the box. See, the shells are all the same size.
Right.
So you buy them by the box of 25, and now it's not going to.
Right.
There would be no logistical reason for charging a whole lot more for just a different size pellets, because they make the same the pellets all at the same place.
Right, but they're not pellets though in a buckshot.
Well, they're still pellets.
Right. Well, they are way more. It's like slugs, basically, the price.
No, a slug is one shot.
Right. And a buckshot is you either get from 9 to 12 or something like that.
Yes.
Right.
The single lot is 16 per thing, and I think the other one, the double lot, is 9. I'm not sure. I haven't checked on it. I know that in a Magnum load they're even more.
Right, right. But I know the cheapest I've seen single lot buck in the Shotgun News was about, I think, $110 for 250.
Yeah.
That was the absolute cheapest I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to fire so many shots when you're shooting a shotgun.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Is that about it?
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, again, the phone number is 501-437-2963. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Yes.
Oh, just a second, Kurt. Just a second. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Kurt, the way that works with that adapter is it'll fit any bolt action 3006.
Yeah.
In the Garand, it will work in your Garand. Well, first of all, you remove them with a broken shell extractor.
Mm-hmm.
Take them out. But you can put it in your Garand, provided you buy another adapter for the feed ramp. So it can be used in the Garand to fire 308 ammo. But in the bolt action, you can use in any bolt action. In something like a Remington 742, it won't work because you don't have the ramp adapters.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use it in a Garand.
Well, that's good.
But you can't. But anything else, he should buy himself a bolt action if he's going to use that caliber anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I would suggest.
Yes.
But that's the mystery behind that.
Yeah. By the way, do you know anything about how many pellets are in the shotgun shells?
Oh, I can look it up real quick. I think it's. Oh shoot! Darn it! It slipped my mind that fast.
Well, that doesn't matter that much. Maybe
But,
somebody else.
I think it's like 17 in 32 calibers and.
Well, that would have to be for Magnum, but not a regular load. I know that.
I'm not even. Yeah, well, don't trust me because it's been a long time since I looked at that, and I think I have it right here in front of my face. No, I don't. That's the sizes. But oh yeah, pellets per pound. No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm just wasting your time. But that's the secret behind that. And the 308 is a good choice because there's still plenty of surplus ammo coming out of Portugal and various places. So you might want to check into that yourself. It's much cheaper to shoot.
Oh, and by the way, do you know anything about the cost of shotgun shells now? Because the last time I priced them at Walmart, they were the same general price for 25 shells, and that was $4.
You're talking about some low brass ammo.
Yeah.
Some really low. That's birdshot.
Well, why would there be a big difference if the higher you go up?
Well, first of all, you got a higher brass casing.
It's not brass. They're
no. I mean the lower end of the shell, and you have of course you have a higher charge of powder. You have a more amount of lead, weight of lead. Like my buckshot, my slugs are running, I think, 5-something a box of 5.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I'm telling you about it, buddy. But they're trying to close us down, and so they're...
Well, they're worth it. I'd say get several hundred rounds, and that's all you're going to need.
Sure, mix and match. Get some slugs, get some buckshot of various sizes, various buckshot. And the slugs, some of them have a tip in the front, and you can mix up some paste rat poison, put in there.
Yeah, well, I think if you hit someone square on with a slug, you don't need anything else.
No, you're right. You got a good point, but of course the distance would matter, too. But, I mean, it's nice, like hollow points in your 380 automatic. They got plenty of room for some rat poison.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I mean, even if he survives and kills you, you'll get even later. But,
well...
But I just wanted to clear the mystery on that adapter. It goes in and it comes out with a little extractor. It's a $20 unit you're talking. $15 for the adapter, $5 for the extractor. But in your case, it'll run total about $50 because you need a spacer for your ramp.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd be in business with 308.
Okay.
All right, buddy?
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, the phone number again is 501-437-2963, and we are at 5.810 megahertz. The address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. For $10, you get your information packet plus a $5 refund on either subscription to the Shoestring Entrepreneur or U.S. Militia. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Yeah, Kurt. This is Les calling from Jasper.
Yes.
Alabama. You remember me?
Not quite, but...
I called about a week ago.
Okay.
Ordered 2 packets, one for me and one for a friend.
Did you get them yet?
Oh, yeah, we got them and appreciate it. And it looked like somebody had opened one end of it and taped it back with clear tape.
Well, the problem was that I explained on another program. I had left the boxes of envelopes out in the garage during the summer, and it got very hot and humid, and the flaps stuck. And so the only way to open them would be to just cut off the top, and then the girl put the stuff in there and then used clear tape to close them up. And so you got one of those, but nobody opened them up. Don't worry about that.
Okay, well, that's what we're kind of concerned about.
Try not to be concerned about nothing except your own safety with what's happening in the world. They ain't looking for you.
Yeah, okay. Well, to answer your question on the other, 32 caliber size pellets, and there's, like you said, on the number 1 buck, there's what, 16?
Yeah.
The double off, there's 9.
I thought so.
So you answered that correctly.
Yeah, and do you know how much they run for now?
No, not exactly.
Well, I'll check when I go back to Walmart.
I just went to the gun show in Birmingham, and I'd be afraid to even price it. You know, they acted like they doubled everything they had over there.
Well, sure, it's this fear of, I tell you, Brady, I've been listening to the news tonight, and I bet they don't let Brady turn on the news, because his gun bill has caused the greatest
miraculous change.
Yes, I mean, people are buying guns that never would have bought guns, wouldn't have been interested in. And it's like during Prohibition, people started drinking when they didn't drink before, and now people are taking dope if they can get it, even if they don't want it. And boy, I tell you, if they keep so-called cracking down on gun sales, you're going to have the mafia get into this.
Well, you know, I'm not throwing rocks at anybody, but I have a theory, and I think the NRA is in this indirectly.
Well, I do too. I think that.
And I don't think they're, you know, petitioning to say, hey, they're going to take away our guns. I think this is politically motivated, and there's money being passed some which way.
Of course, the government makes many billions of dollars in gun sales. The taxes thereby, guns, ammunition, powder, all down the line. And the NRA, if you read their magazines, and especially look at the ads for the guns, they're guns that nobody in his right mind would want.
Right. I don't belong to them, and they've been for quite some time.
And so all they're doing is saying, they're going to take away your guns, so buy guns. Of course, now, the logic behind that is stupid, because if people really believed that they were going to have their guns taken away, they wouldn't buy them.
That's right.
So it's just to panic the people to run to the gun store, and all of the gun dealers and manufacturers get rich.
Yeah.
And the little guy is sitting there with something that he can't use.
And they, well, I know a lot of the gun shops, I'm not going to call any names, but a lot of them insinuated that the SKS was on the list.
Yeah.
It's not. It's if the shroud, you know, if it's got the shroud and the bayonet and the 30-round clip. You know, I think, well, maybe the 10-round clip was involved, but there's several stipulations there that they can just strip it down and sell it as is, and it's still going to sell.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know what the big panic is.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's going to be interesting to kind of stand back and watch.
It is. It is.
I don't see how the government can just come in and take our guns.
Well, they couldn't, because there's 50 million and more gun owners in the United States, and they don't have the personnel. And I heard that the sheriffs in Arizona weren't going to honor the Brady bill.
Oh, okay.
And then other people get on TV and they say, well, police personnel. They said it would just swamp them. They'd be overwhelmed. They couldn't do it.
I'm sure.
So what with the panic and buying guns and then all this paperwork, why, I bet the mafia gets into it. I bet they're going to be selling guns too.
If not already.
Well, maybe so, because it's getting to be so lucrative that the mafia is going to step in there, and especially, see, they know all the angles. Well, your gun dealers know all the angles too.
Sure.
So it's just little guys that get scared, and then so some mafia man is going to sell them a whole arsenal for twice the price.
Sucked up in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. And your own paranoia drives you to the
yes, but
limit.
I got all the guns I need, thank you, and besides, with U.S. militia, a person cannot be disarmed. Also with the Poor Man's James Bond, because those books and magazines tell you how to arm yourself. Now, even if you were in Red China, you could still blow up the world if that was your fantasy.
Yeah.
What I like to do is, well, did you ever read 1984 by George Orwell?
No, I didn't.
You ought to read it because it's a very fun, readable book. It tells about a total totalitarian system.
1984 by George Orwell?
Yeah, that's where you know, you've heard the thing, Big Brother is watching you?
Yes.
That's from that. And what I like to fantasize is if we were under a government like that, how could I destroy it? And the U.S. militia and the Poor Man's James Bond tells you how you can do just that. So don't worry about any kind of tyranny. We don't have a despotic system. It's not like Nazi Germany or Communist Russia or China or New Jersey. So I don't know why people get fantasizing about despotism, but it's not going to happen. Despotism, but it's not going to happen here. There might be an overreaction here and there, but it's not going to hit the average citizen.
Yeah. Well, are you catching a lot of static or a lot of flack because of maybe the fact that it's viewed as that you're promoting a certain amount of type mercenary behavior or something?
No, I haven't gotten any flack at all.
Okay, from the federal government?
No, the federal government made peace with me a long time ago when they called me to the Senate in 1970. I told them where to get off, and I had a lot of fun, and of course they enjoyed it too. They didn't enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah.
But they didn't threaten me. They didn't ask me to stop publishing the Poor Man's James Bond or any such material. All they wanted to know was I directing it deliberately to any sort of dissident groups, and I assured them of that, and I assured them that I was going to keep on, and they haven't bothered me. They don't bother me. They don't bother the Klan or anybody else.
Right. Well, I believe in one of the articles, like Article 13, code of whatever, it states that information is free. It's just depending on how the information is used.
Well, if I should write in my material that you should do such and such a thing, that would be actionable. But I wouldn't intend that anyone should do anything. Of course, when the collapse comes, all bets are off.
And you truly believe the collapse is coming?
Oh, definitely. You watch your news at night. You can't avoid it.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, it's good to talk with you. If you're ever around Jasper, look me up. I'm not hard to find.
Okay.
See you around.
Sure enough. Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay, again, the phone number is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Send in $10 and get a $5 refund on either subscription. Hello, Kurt here. Nobody there? Is it going to land in my backyard? Afraid not. Okay, again, 501-437-2963. That sounded like a flying saucer to me, but it's the, whoops, here we got another call. Hello, Kurt here.
Hi, Kurt. This is Jim from Hillsdale, Michigan.
Hi, Jim.
I just wanted to let you know that we've made up a newsletter, and it's kind of different than most of them. And this is a newsletter that informs people where to get items.
What kind of items?
Well, newsletters, self-defense, self-preservation, food preservation, your program, several other ones.
My books?
Yep.
Good for you.
So we've made up the program, and it's been really catching on.
Do you have an address?
It's the address.
How much should they send?
It's $20 a year for 12 issues.
Okay. It's a source publication, right?
Yes. It has
Okay.
where to get just about everything that we can find. If anybody has some meetings or newsletters or things that they want included, if they could write to us and put it in there and give us a month and a half lead time, we can include it in that.
Well, that's a good idea. You might even send me a copy.
I sure will.
Okay, give your mailing address.
It's TICN, P.O. Box 831, Hillsdale, Michigan, 49242.
Okay, give it a...
TICN, P.O. Box 831, Hillsdale, Michigan 49242.
Okay, now do you give a sample? Well, do you sell a sample copy?
Sure will. We'll send them a sample copy absolutely free.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's good. Okay, then, since you're going to send them a sample copy absolutely free, I'm sure that a lot of people have grabbed their pencil. So give it one more time.
Okay, it's TICN, P.O. Box 831, Hillsdale, Michigan 49242.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Keep up the good program.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963. Hello, Kurt here.
Hello, Kurt. This is Charles from Texas again.
Hi, Charles.
How you doing?
Fine.
I got an information sheet from Idaho Surplus Sales that sells the insert for the 308.
Yes.
They do not recommend its use in any self-loading weapon because of the remote chance of accidental extraction.
Well, now, what do you mean, a self-loading?
Self-loading, the 742 or the 7400 series Remington the gentleman called about earlier, or your M1 or anything like that.
Well, okay, by self-loading you mean semi-automatic.
Semi-automatic, right.
You're supposed to put the shells in yourself, but if it does it mechanically, they don't recommend it.
Right, if it does it mechanically itself, they don't recommend it.
Okay, well, that's what I thought, but I'm not one of those experts.
So your 308 or your 30-06 and then a single shot bolt action or a lever action like a Savage, probably okay.
Okay, that's good.
Also on the in the area of shotgun shells, I've been doing a little experimenting. If you'll buy you just a box of regular cheapest shot shells you can buy, cut the tops of them off around the outside diameter, empty your pellets out, and get you some hot glue.
Yeah.
Put your dab of hot glue down at the
hot glue. Now, come on. What?
Hot glue like a hot glue gun.
Oh, okay.
You know, like you put in wood furniture.
Yeah, I know what a hot glue gun is now.
Right, okay. Put your dab of hot glue down at the bottom of your wad, and then start pouring in a little bit at a time your shot. And a little more hot glue and a little more shot, and then cap the top of it off with hot glue. Makes an excellent short-range slug. It expends all of its energy on your target, and you don't have any chance of going through, you know, for home defense, it would go through maybe the first portion of your wall, but not all the way through the next portion to harm anybody else in the house.
Well, I guess you could make a nifty load from regular birdshot, couldn't you?
Regular birdshot.
Now, does that have any dispersion, or does it come out in one lump?
Comes out with one lump. I've been shooting it at about 30 yards, and out of just a smooth bore with a bead shot, it shoots a little high, but it'll shoot right on, and it'll take a 1-gallon water jug out and explode it like there was nothing there.
So you aim for the neck instead of the forehead?
Well, you aim for the tummy instead of the heart.
Okay, just so we got our trajectory straight.
Right. But it you use a little bit less shot because you're filling up some of that space with glue. But as soon as
but see, you'd be hitting them with one load there, so you could afford to drop a few.
That's right. But you can also reload those shells again, because all you have to do is buy your powder and some of those single cup wads. Put your powder in, put your wad over the top, put your glue in, and more pellets, and you got another load.
Oh, and I suppose that when that hit, it would be sort of spongy.
Well, it's not spongy, it's hard.
Hard?
It turns hard.
Well, okay then. I was just thinking it would really tear a person to pieces.
It explodes when it hits.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, in a 1-gallon water jug, a lot of your pellets will hit the bottom because all of its energy on the jug. I haven't tried it on any soft targets yet, but I would imagine if you had a good hit, you're talking in the energy figures of about 1,800 foot-pounds.
Yes.
So
have you built the 4-wind shotgun from the U.S. militia?
I haven't. I've gotten I got my introductory pack and stuff, and I read Clarence. I like Clarence. I've got people reading Clarence and getting a big kick out of him.
Oh, wait till you see the next Clarence.
Well, I need to place my order for
a subscription.
But I haven't done that yet, and I will do it though.
Yeah. Well, a fella asked me a few days ago, and I didn't quite have it online in my mind. He seemed to be confused about the pressure on the pipe. But what I forgot to tell him was that with a rifle, for instance, you have a large missile being pushed into a small opening, so it will go around and around. And of course, this causes a lot of pressure building up. But you see, since these are just pellets, there's no pressure building up at all in the pipe.
Well, there's pressure there because you're expanding gas, but you're talking about a short duration and a lot lower pressure than like your 30-06 round or even.
Yes, so it would be almost the difference between a rifle and a blunderbuss.
Sure. And your blunderbusses or your old shotguns were made out of Damascus steel, which is just wrapped steel. And of course, you can't shoot modern ammunition in those, but black powder works.
Yes.
And in the same sense, the loads I'm making up, what I told you about, you can reload that with black powder if you're in your pinch.
Mm-hmm.
You're on black powder and reload it.
Well, I should suppose a load like that would be against the law, but how would anybody know?
Well, it's not against the law. I picked the idea up out of a gun magazine with loading 44 Magnum rounds in the same way, using a sabot with pellets in it and gluing the top of the pellets.
Yes.
So as far as they call them, and there's some ammunition for revolvers out made by MagSafe that does the same thing.
Yes.
I would say that they're not illegal, no.
Well, I didn't mean so much that. It would be something that they'd probably outlaw if they knew about it, but it'd be something that they couldn't check.
It's something they can't do anything about because you make them yourself.
Yeah.
But I'd ask Terry to try it out himself, take it out and find you some soft target of some kind. Maybe you're going to slaughter a goat or something, and try it out and see what it does. And then let us know over the radio how it does.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks a whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hello, Kurt. This is Cliff from Florida.
Hi, Cliff.
I ordered a packet from you, and I ordered a grain mill, and I didn't get the grain mill. I was wondering if those were backed up for some reason.
I don't think they're backed up. When did you order the grain mill?
Oh, at the same time I ordered my packet, about 2 months ago.
Oh, well, now there's something wrong. Could you call up? Well, you have my office phone. You got the packet. If you got the packet, the phone number's in there is the office phone.
Okay, very good.
Call in the office. Maybe probably what happened was that one of the girls just didn't call it in. We have trouble like that, and it gets pretty loud around here, but maybe the people in Utah fouled up, but you should have gotten it about a week and a half after you placed your order.
Okay,
so
well, I haven't gotten it yet, and I didn't know if...
Okay, well, just call in the office tomorrow and tell them that you haven't gotten it, and they're going to check.
Okay.
And we're going to make sure that you get it within a week and a half.
Also, I wrote the letter and told you about the book that I was writing on fuel alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall that letter or not.
I don't remember it. I'm sorry. I get so many letters that they just sort of... and sometimes the girls don't pass it on to me.
Yeah, I got kind of backed up. I had back surgery since that time, and I kind of slowed down on the book, but should be out pretty soon, and send you a copy when I get it.
Okay, well, I'll plug it on the air for you.
Okay, real good.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Kurt.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. And for $10, you get the introductory packet and a $5 refund on either subscription. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, Kurt. This is Miles in Georgia.
Hi, Miles.
How you doing? I had originally got some of your first, I guess, Poor Man's James Bond back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And have tried to maintain my library, so I've got a couple to go yet, 3 and 4 I think it is. Anyway, for what it's worth, obviously your orientation is on the defensive and more of the physical aspect. I'd like to say one thing. I'm involved with a group who has just chartered an offshore banking operation that is defensive financially, and what we're offering is a free report on offshore banking and what it may do for individuals that are interested.
Well, what is offshore banking?
Well, basically, we're domiciling banks out of the country with obvious income, privacy, and tax advantages.
Oh.
Which is another form of defense, of course. And with what we see coming here in this country, it's obviously going to be another form of protecting yourself, not physically, but from an asset situation.
Well, okay, now, as little as I understand this, see, if I take my money to the bank in Harrison, I go there next day, I can draw it out. What about yours?
Once offshore banking is set up, you can access your account instantly with a debit card, which you can go down and present to any bank and make a cash withdrawal.
Okay. Now, just give the address for the free leaflet or whatever.
Right. Free information is attention FBC, P.O. Box 71271, Albany, Georgia 31708.
Okay, give that again.
Okay. FBC, care of P.O. Box 71271, Albany, Georgia 31708. We'll give you a free report on offshore banking and what it might be able to do for you. This is not an advertisement. It's not a solicitation.
Well, now, I should think it was both, but what would that matter?
Well, it depends on who's listening.
Well, no, I'm just trying to clarify something in my own mind. I mean,
Well, because of offshore banking laws.
Aren't they supposed to advertise?
Yeah, we're not allowed to advertise in the States, so this is not an advertisement. This is just an offer for free literature.
Okay, that's a good definition there. So it's not an advertisement. You're giving something free.
That's right.
Okay, buddy. I hope you get a lot of results.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963. Mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Yes, this is Raymond from Rockville.
Yes, Raymond.
I saw an article in the Washington Times about a week and a half ago telling about you and your program, and it was very interesting.
Well, my goodness, I didn't see it.
Well, it was a Scripps Howard item.
I wish you would make a copy of it and send it to me.
Okay, I'll see if I can find it.
Was it complimentary or?
Yeah, I was, talking about how you advocate getting ready for the bad times ahead.
Yes, that's good.
And I would like to tout a catalog, if I may, and I'll just give the 800 number.
Okay, that's good.
U.S. Cavalry.
Yes.
Customer service is 1-800-333-5102. And they specialize in military-type clothing and some types of camping gear.
Yes.
Boots, jackets, and anything else that might be of interest.
Do you work there?
Oh, no.
Then you don't know Palmer?
No, I've actually, quite frankly, I've never bought anything from him.
Well, why are you advertising them?
I'm not advertising them. I'm just saying that your listeners may be interested.
Oh, okay. I thought it was sort of funny because, see, last year they bought $47,000 worth of books from me. That's how much they sent me. And then for some reason, the owner of the company said, no more books.
Huh.
And, hey, that didn't kill us, but it was just rather strange, don't you think?
Oh, that sounds rather...
They were selling a lot of my books. Poor Man's James Bond 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the chemistry book.
The U.S. Cavalry?
Yes.
Well, I'm thinking about driving down to North Carolina this spring. They have a store down there just outside of Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
And I think I'll go down and check out what some of their gear is like.
Well, they have a whole range of the gear.
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I'm just flipping through it here. I do see Poor Man James Bond. Yes, they do sell it.
Well, I don't... What, do they sell all 4 volumes?
Yes. Well, I don't know if they sell it now. This is a 93 catalog.
Oh, okay. They don't sell them anymore.
Okay. So, and I was in Eastern Mountain store the other day.
Yeah.
Eastern Mountain Sports, and they sell, of course, the camping equipment. They also sell water filters.
Mm-hmm.
And some of your listeners who may be up in the mountains thinking they can drink pure water, I wouldn't advise it because
not anymore.
Carry parasites.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I enjoy your show.
Well, I'm glad.
You know, the funny thing is we eat in the kitchen. We have a sideboard. The shortwave is up on the sideboard with my earphones on, and my wife is watching television.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm recording a lot of your stuff on tape to friends.
Have you ordered my packet?
I think I will this week.
Well, I think you send in $10 and you'll get a sample issue of U.S. Militia and a sample issue of Shoestring Entrepreneur and the David Koresh Last Testament. And you'll get 10% off. And, oh, by the way, do you know if you recorded the Tuesday, February 8th show?
No, I'm afraid not.
Okay, well, that's what we're trying to get a copy of because Kerry pushed the wrong button and we lost the whole show. It went over the air, but the radio station didn't record it that night.
I can't believe that all your listeners, somebody must have recorded it.
Well, somebody did, I guess. We'll get a copy soon.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, the phone number again is 501-437-2963. Oops, here's another call. Hello, Kurt here.
Hello, this is Paul in Hickory, North Carolina.
Yes, Paul.
I was listening to your last caller. You're talking about U.S. Cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one of their catalogs and I also have a Gander Mountain catalog, and I was doing a little comparison shopping, and I have found that U.S. Cavalry is about half again as high on a lot of their stuff as anybody else is. They've got a scope in there. It's just one example. It's $140 in U.S. Cavalry, and it's $69 in Gander Mountain.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were selling my books for $21.95. And I sell them for only $18, and to subscribers there's $16.20. And I just wondered why they were selling them for such a high price. But like I said, I sold them $47,000 worth in 1 year. That's a wholesale rate to them, and so they must have been selling them hand over fist. They've really got a. But James Palmer, the buyer, he couldn't figure out. Well, he wasn't going to argue with the old man, but they do sell things considerably higher. So I would shop around. But one thing it's a good catalog for picking out something what you want, and then you might do some comparison shopping. But if you can't do any comparison shopping, they do put out excellent material.
Yes, well, they do carry a lot of unique items that you won't find anywhere else.
Yes.
But I'd also like to suggest this fellow had mentioned that he might go down to Fayetteville near Fort Bragg. If he's going to go down there to go shopping, he would do well to look in the pawn shops, because these soldiers steal equipment from each other and pawn it for beer money. And in these pawn shops, this stuff is in there for 10 cents on the dollar.
Oh, that is good. That's an excellent suggestion for people living in that area.
Yes,
anybody if you can't break into a National Guard armory, then buy it from a drunken soldier.
That's right. Anybody that lives in any area where there's a lot of military bases would do well to search the pawn shops, because I have found amazing equipment that cost the government hundreds of dollars, and it's in there for $15.
Mm-hmm.
Just kinds of stuff. That's just a good way to save money on your gear.
I guess it is. That's an excellent tip. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, we got 5 minutes, and it's the phone number is 501-437-2963. The address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, Kurt. This is Wayne from Kentucky.
Hi, Wayne.
How you doing?
Let's make you our last caller.
Oh, okay. I've been carrying, instead of mace, a squeeze bottle full of formaldehyde a while now, and I had occasion to use it the other day.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and the problem is it just didn't seem to faze them very much. And I was wondering
if it was good formaldehyde?
That's right. And I was wondering, because if I'd had it so long, maybe it had degraded or something.
Well, now, it isn't a gas, so it shouldn't have degraded much.
Well, and the other thing I'm worried about is I got this stuff from an undertaker at the local funeral home, and I noticed that it's part methanol and part zinc.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so
No, if it was pure formaldehyde, it would be almost lethal.
Oh, okay. Well, because I sprayed it and I was like, ha-ha, take that sucker, and then he was like, what is this stuff? I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, I had to hop back in my car and take off, you know.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, now, if formaldehyde is very hard to get now, and they have doubled the price.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get pure formaldehyde, you'd have to get that from your pharmacy if they have it for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually don't bother, because the last time I bought it, I was selling it for in squeeze bottles.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And the last time I bought it to sell in squeeze bottle, they had doubled the price, and the pharmacist made me sign for it, which I didn't mind a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, I didn't need to sell it very long after that.
Well, could I get your comments on some pepper gas? Because there was a Chicago cop on the G. Gordon Liddy show the other day who was talking about how some of the pepper gas now, it's measured on a heat scale, and they have it all the way up to 250,000 times what the base level is, which I think is something like Tabasco sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you had any comments on that.
Well, Poor Man's James Bond Volume 1 tells how to make tear gas. The best I found is acrolein. I forget what it goes on, what you make it out of that, but I did make some. It's fantastic.
Really? Okay.
And you can get the ingredients from your grocery store. And then, of course, to make the pepper gas, you just take and put red peppers in a blender, dry, and then you put them in a light oil for 24 hours or so, and then you drain it off, and that will just stop anybody. Doesn't hardly cost anything at all. And then, of course, if you've got the U.S. militia and you're making the kind of stuff that Clarence made, make your little distilling apparatus from a light bulb and a tin can and some plastic tubing and all like that, you can get pure ammonia from household ammonia, and that will stop an elephant in its tracks. So you see, all of these things are very simple and cheap, and I think they're better than the commercial products.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you see, you're learning to do something. I want people to do something. Don't just run out and buy things ready-made. I mean, why pay the middleman?
That's right.
And this way you know what you're doing. But if you went and got embalming fluid from a mortician, then it's no longer straight formaldehyde.
Is there any way I could distill that maybe and get a stronger...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know how to make formaldehyde either, but you don't need formaldehyde. If your purpose is to stop someone, just make some pepper gas of your own, or and use a 1 ounce inhaler bottle. It's a little squirt bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Vicks inhaler will do it.
Right.
And you just twist off the thing there and pour it in there, and oh, that'll be very good. That'll stop it's terrible pain. And when a person's paining in his eyes and his nose and his mouth, he's not thinking about you.
That's right. Well, thanks a lot, Kurt. I appreciate it. I appreciate your show too.
Well, you're very welcome. Did you buy the intro packet?
Well, I was a member of one of your original $500 club.
You still are, aren't you?
Well, I sure am, and I just was expecting to receive it, and I hadn't gotten it yet. And
okay.
I was sort of waiting around for it, and I didn't. I was
no,
going to go ahead and order.
No, you don't. No, you people, you already got your U.S. militia. You already got your shoestring entrepreneur, and the Koresh books. They're not mine.
Oh, I see.
See, that's.
I gotcha.
That's just as a premium. So, just live without that, okay?
I can do it, I guess.
Okay, buddy. Bye for now.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Now it's sign-off time. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So this is Kurt Saxon saying goodbye and be good.